Welcome back to A Fresh Story, the podcast where we have conversations about brave decisions to start over again. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Jenny, and we're so glad you're here today.
She was working in a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens, till her boyfriend kicked her out in one of those crushing scenes. What was she to do? Where was she to go? She was out on her fanny.
Was she working in a bridal shop?
I gotta tell you a story. So just the other night, my friend Jen was here, and she was visiting Edinburgh. And we're having dinner, me, Thomas, and Jen. And I said something, no, maybe it was lunch. And I said something about the nanny. And they were both, Thomas is 10 years older than me, 9 years older than me, and raised in England/Scotland. And Jen has no excuse. And they were both like, we don't know that show. And I recited the entire, what's it called?
Theme song.
Like I spoke it.
Yeah.
And they both looked at me and they're like, how do you know that? And I was like, how do you not? I mean, I understand Thomas, but like, how would I not know it? I was like, because they were like, what's it about? And I said, well, I'll tell you what's it about.
I'll tell you. Well, if anybody doesn't know, let's tell them, sister. She was working at a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens. And then what happened?
Her boyfriend kicked her out. It was one of those crushing scenes.
Where was she to go? What was she to do? She was out on her fanny.
Here's what she did. Over the bridge, she goes to the Sheffields store. She was there to sell beauty, but the father, he saw more.
She had style. She had flair. She was there. That's how she became the nanny. Yeah.
I can't.
Also, they worked Bon Vivi into that theme song. Is that how you say it?
No, they wouldn't.
That's how she became the nanny. Who would have thought that the girl that we described was just exactly what the doctor prescribed? Now the father finds her beguiling. Watch out, Cece. The kids are finally smiling. Such
says joie de vie.
Oh, joie de vie. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Now the father finds her beguiling. Watch out, CC. And the kids are actually smiling. Joie de vie.
She's the lady in red when everybody else is wearing tan. The flashy girl from Flushing. The nanny named Fran. Yeah. The world is burning up, but we're going to provide you.
The world is burning up. Listen, I want to say this up top. Fran Drescher herself, I said this before, has a lot of interesting views. She's got some questionable views on back scenes. I'm not standing behind her defending those. She seems to be a very good president of SAG-AFTRA. So
yeah, I'm sure she's a very loving person.
I think, listen, she's a Jewish mother. We're a Jewish woman who...
Jewish women are complicated. Yeah.
But we're here to talk about
the nanny.
The nanny.
Welcome to A Fresh Story.
This is not a fresh story.
Actually, wait a second. The nanny is a fresh story.
It is a fresh story. She's a fresh start story, baby.
She's a fresh start story. She knew she deserved more in life. Fran Fine knew she deserved more.
Yes.
And she had so much love to give. And I just want to say at the top of the show, too, it is a show about Jewish joy. And
Jewish family.
And Jewish families. And also, like, spreading that love. Like, one of the things, we'll get into it, but I love the way that family is in that show. And, like, her family and how they love the Sheffields.
Yeah.
It's so...
Blended family.
2
little girls.
Yeah.
Who grew up in a Jewish family that had blended families and had grandparents that were Italian that completely took us in and loved us and saw us as their own.
Yep.
And, to see that, it was amazing. It was...
There's a bug.
She's not clapping. There was
a bug. Sorry.
It was amazing. It was very exciting. And also, I think it is such an intensely bizarre show. Some of the
so bizarre,
are so amazingly weird. I mean, here's the thing. Fran Drescher and her ex-husband, who she was still very close with, they had a show later called
Have It Open Here. Yeah. Peter Mark Jacobson. Yeah.
Who had come out of the closet, I think, maybe after their divorce, but they're still very close. They're like each other's person, as far as I'm aware. They produced a show together, and it was intensely bizarre. There are some things that happened on that show. Like, there's an they say show don't tell. That show shows when it probably shouldn't. There was an episode where they have a Cher impersonator that's supposed to be a dupe for Cher. First of all, in the show, it's supposed to be a dupe for Cher. It's clearly not Cher, obviously. And then also her cousin is a Cher impersonator, and he's so just wonderfully bizarre as a Cher impersonator. And it is a very like queer friendly show. There's a lot of like drag,
a lot of queer friendly show. Yeah.
And it's just wonderfully, it's wonderfully weird.
It's interesting. I'm just reading the Wikipedia. It says, so the show performed poorly in its first year. It was nearly canceled. Although soon emerging as a favorite among the company's sponsors, questioned whether the writers had ventured too far in terms of ethnicity and Drescher acted too obviously Jewish.
Yeah. I imagine it was a fight with the network.
The actress, however, declined to change Fran Fine into an Italian American.
It's so funny that they would have been more comfortable with Italian American.
Yeah.
But those jokes wouldn't have worked. Like, the fiddler jokes wouldn't have worked from an Italian American perspective. The episode where, in order to get back with her mother, she puts a towel on her head and sings Sunrise, Sunset, a napkin on her head and sings Sunrise, Sunset.
I mean, I just love the thing that I love. There's so many things I love about that show. So I didn't really watch it much when it was on because we were little.
That's bullshit because when we were kids, you could actually recite all of the names.
I could, but I don't remember it. Like, I don't think I watched it.
I just, like, that is a thing that came to me the other day that used to be like, I can recite all of the names of the cast of the
I don't remember that, but okay. I blocked out a lot of our childhood. But anyway, I started watching it again with Weston, and I love that she is unabashedly herself, and Maxwell falls for her, and he is unabashedly himself, and they clearly, and like they won't they, but they just love each other from the very beginning, and like have this respect for each other, and she becomes the lady of the house, and really like she raises the children. And I really would love to talk to the cast because I think that they probably are very close, right?
I saw Nicole Tom was with Renee Taylor like pretty recently.
Renee Taylor, who was probably, they did not understand what she was going to do for that show. I mean, she is like freaking the best character on the show.
Fucking sexy. Like we like to joke that she's like a schlubby woman, but like she's got a crazy body be banging. And she just like is hysterical on that. There are so many amazing like line readings by Renee Taylor and Grandma Yetta too.
Yeah.
Who is played by the same actress that was on Dick Van Dyke as Millie.
It says here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I just think he also like the Yiddish, the language, and how like the Sheffields take on, right? She's raising these kids basically as her own, right? Like and she kind of just assumes she's going to end up with Maxwell, which I love, right? Yeah. It's like this delusion of like, well, I'm just putting this time in because she falls in love with the kids immediately. Yeah. And then, they take to her, I mean, I don't know how I finished the whole series, but, when they go on vacation, she shares a bed with Grace. Like they're very, very close. But they, Yetta and her mother take on those children like their own grandchildren and great grandchildren, and they act like that. I mean,
I was watching an episode the other day where they have Yeti and Nettie.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Their grandmother.
Yeah,
it's just it captures such a very specific slice of life.
Yeah,
and I understand. I'm shocked that they were able to like. I feel the same way about Seinfeld, where I'm like, they showed this to all of America and they accepted it. Because it is very Jewish, it is very New York, and it is very specific, but it's got such a universal heart to it.
The thing, too, is it's very clear that Fran Drescher studied television.
Yeah.
Right? So many of the running gags and so much of the language is taken from the 1960s sitcoms, which you and I grew up on. We watched Nick at Night like it was our religion. We could recite all of those theme songs too. Like, we were probably the only two kids that could recite the Dick Van Dyke theme song or like all these things, right? So to us, like,
and if anybody wants to like challenge us, like we have
Dick Van Dyke is Robert Petrie who comes home. But I think and so there's so much of that within the Nanny that it's almost like an homage to these shows.
I was gonna say, I think it's funny because I feel like the two shows that you and I have been fixated on recently are Will and Grace and The Nanny.
Yeah,
and they're both basically I Love Lucy.
Yeah,
they both, and which is funny because I never really took to I Love Lucy.
But I didn't either.
Both basically I Love.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Val, who becomes again this major character on the show. Right. Like I don't think that they intended for these minor characters to become.
I think like
Toriello.
Cece Babcock is Lauren Lane is her name, the actress.
Yeah.
I don't think she's been in that much else since, but she's amazing as Cece Babcock. Like, she's pitch perfect in that role.
Yeah.
The way she's hysterically funny. She is also like a very ambitious woman who is not willing to give up any of her power or money or ambition to be anything. Like, and I adore that. Like, and when you see Cece and Fran like come together, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
I'm just reading it. It says that Rosie O'Donnell employed the same team that created the Nanny's opening credits to do her opening credits for her talk
that's
show.
Funny. I just was watching the episode where she becomes like a person on the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, just such a weird episode. Like, it dabbles in these weird,
and then it will also like have this weird thing that like isn't really the center of the episode. The episode with Eartha Kitt, by the way, like
why and like Ray Charles comes on as Yetta's husband. She ends up marrying Rachel, but it's Sammy. His name's Sam. I believe it's Ray Charles. I mean, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. No, I think I'm right. Let's see. Yetta Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray Charles. I'm right. Yeah. And like, too, also this idea that like Fran is smart. I always wondered if they named her Fran Fine because she's actually like finer. Like, she has like a class. She's classy, right?
Interesting.
But like they don't see her. I don't know. That was my
word. The name Fine. I was also like, I don't really have the context because when did the show start? Like
93. It's at 93.
I don't really have context for what she was doing before this.
Yeah.
But I know she was in Saturday Night Fever. And then like was kind of just like a middling, and then just like kind of like came out the gate with this show as far as I'm concerned.
I know, I was wondering that because they seems like they gave her a lot of carte blanche.
Yeah.
To be like, this is a weird show.
You never watched Broad City, but she plays Susie Essman's sister on Broad City. Imagine them as sisters in their mother's Boca Raton apartment fighting over jewelry. It's like truly one of the most genius scenes I've ever seen in my life. Like casting Susie Essman and Fran Fine as sisters. That's
Fran Drescher, yeah. She's Fran Fine to us.
But yeah, Fran Fine to us. I love that the dog, that Cece's dog in the show is actually Fran Drescher's dog. That's why it always nice to Fran.
I love Maxwell. I just love Maxwell. And you know that. And like, there's something about their relationship that makes me just have hope and love. Like, and that episode when they go to Paris and you were saying, you were like, it's not professional. Like, there's
not normal to like walk around hand.
But they love each other. Like, they love each other. Yeah.
That's when he says the thing and then he takes it back.
The thing. Now, you haven't gotten this far, but in the last season, which I feel like they, the last season of so many shows, they screw up, right? Like, they just don't know how to end things. And I think
it's like with Will and Grace where they had to completely retcon the entire, like...
Yeah, and like, Younger really messed up the last season, The Bold Type, all these shows. But I think with this one, I read a little bit about this, that Fran Drescher didn't really want her and Maxwell getting together because then it's like, what's next for them? And so the last season is probably the most unhinged television that I've ever seen. The first episode of season 6, I believe it is right after their wedding. So their wedding is the finale for season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Season 6, the openers, they're stranded together on an island. Okay? They are shipwrecked on an island, which again, it's like Gilligan's Island. Like, it goes back to like the TV shows.
Old TV shows, yeah.
And what it really is trying to show is that their relationship can withstand anything or whatever, and he just adores her. It's a lot about sex, like so much sex on that show.
Yeah.
But then, the episodes just get more and more unhinged, and I feel like, and I said this to you before I watched season 6, that there wasn't a lot about Sarah, his wife, who had passed away.
Yeah. Season 1, they watched the videos about.
So Sarah, the ghost of Sarah, comes back.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, and she says I guess it's before he gets married to her, that she picked Fran out for them, which is really sweet. And then there's a whole episode about the fact that, and I'm not spoiling this because everybody can see, that Sarah's parents do not want Fran adopting the kids as her own. Mm-hmm. And it's a very interesting, like, again, that show goes up and down between serious.
There's an episode in there, I think in the first season, where they watch a home video and they're in it. And I think on most TV shows, they would just show them watching the screen and reacting to it. they went ahead and made a whole home video. That's not normal. Like, that's not typical of that, that. Like, they do a lot of things. They have Fran, is supposed to go see a Barbra Streisand concert with Cece's dad, and she doesn't go. And they have, like, a person who's pretending to be Barbra Streisand on the phone. Like, most shows wouldn't do that. They would hide the person. They would just do it on the phone. Like, it just does a lot.
Well, it's almost like a show, right? It's almost like they're putting on a Broadway, like a show.
But they choose to show things that a lot of shows wouldn't show, and I love that because I want to see that. I want to see what Sarah looks like,
Right.
And I love it.
Well, it adds to the dimension, right? Because you see Sarah looks like Maggie, and she looks like Grace, and like
it does, yeah. It does a good job at world building.
And it's sweet. And then so like the last season, then Fran's trying to get pregnant and she can't get pregnant. And then she thinks she's pregnant and you think that maybe she lost the baby. And it's deep.
Twins in the end, right?
They do have twins in the end. Yeah. But it's like,
I don't know why TV thinks that what we want is twins.
Have you ever
thought about that? Like, they're like, we, how do we get end, Friends? Twins. It's nice. Twins.
Right.
Hi. Full House. Twins.
Right.
We're good with one baby. It's enough.
One fake baby. It's clearly a fake baby.
Well, exactly. It's like twins. Like, how you get 4 of them? Like,
And then, and then, and then they rush it though, because then she literally has the twins, and then they move to California, and also Maggie gets married, which is like a whole weird storyline. She marries young. She marries a model, like a male model, but he's supposed to be sweet, like,
right.
But it's very sweet that like when they get married, Fran starts referring to them as her children. And, and they're the parents, and they've always been the parents. It's just a language shift, right?
Yeah.
And it, like, same with they say, her mother is Nana and Yetta and like things like that. And it's really sweet. And I don't know. There's something very magical about the show.
I was just watching the episode where they go away for the cruise for Brighton's bar mitzvah.
Yeah. Right.
Like, yeah. Just take it on. It's interesting. I find the whole concept of the show fascinating. I've watched her other series. I've watched Happily Divorced. There was the other one too. And then I just find her compelling as a creator.
And there's so many guest stars. Like,
so many.
When you get, because it clearly was doing
Roger Clinton, their neighbor.
Right.
He's on it twice at least. I've seen
more. I think more.
I was watching the episode just today because I watch it while I work. That they were saying that Roger Clinton was their neighbor, so his cat's named Shoes, and they were like Shoes and Socks.
Yeah.
It's super liberal, right? It's super liberal. It's like a super democratic bent.
Yeah.
But like, why was that a thing that Roger Clinton was their neighbor? I know, like.
By the way, her name is supposed to be Francine Joy Fine.
Oh, she's in the first.
And Niles, we haven't even talked about Niles, who, by the way, is Southern, not British.
Southern.
Yeah.
I looked that up the other day.
Yeah.
I've never seen him in anything else. Do you think he just gets to live off the nanny money?
I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, it's like him and Lauren Lane are in a couple of things, but not much. By the way, Lauren Lane, like, and the outfits that she wears.
Yeah.
I just want to look that composed for just one day in my life with such a clean little, like, bob haircut.
I know. The hair on that show is amazing. Here, let's see, Daniel Davis. I think he did, no, he did things. Let's see. Star Trek.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. He does a lot of guest stars.
He's amazing. He's very effusive towards Cece. It's bizarre, but it's a very strange relationship the two of them have.
Lauren Lane. Yeah, I don't think she's in a ton.
No, but she was amazing as Cece, like, genius level.
I mean, is Madeline Zima in a lot of stuff now?
Yeah, like, she's still in stuff. She was in Californication.
Oh. She's third. She's my age. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she's still active.
Yeah. I'm like, gosh, she's old. I'm 38.
Yeah.
Rachel Chagall.
Who's that, Rachel?
That's Val.
Val.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think she acts anymore. She and her husband, who was the nanny's stage manager, had twins, boy and a girl. So she, I guess.
Twins.
I don't think she.
On Gilmore Girls, doesn't Lane have like triplets?
I've never watched.
You've never watched Gilmore Girls. I think Lane has triplets on Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I don't think
why TV thinks we want multiples.
I don't think Benjamin Salisbury works at
Brighton for everybody.
Oh, he got divorced and hey, Benjamin Salisbury, you want to come on the podcast? He married his wife, Kelly Murky, in 2006. He has 3 children. It was announced in 2013 they had divorced. Yeah, he doesn't. I wonder what he does.
Nicole Tom, we just did a deep dive on Instagram. She looks like she's living her best.
And Charles Shaughnessy, who I love.
He was on Mad Men. He's genius on Mad Men.
Just love him.
One of the best characters on the show. Played same.
Does he not have
St. John
children? It doesn't say he's married. Oh no,
people.
No, it does.
Do that
2 children.
marriage, so.
2 children. Yeah, sorry. It doesn't say it on his thing.
Yes, it's an amazing series.
Oh yeah, he was on Living with Fran.
That was one of her other shows.
Yeah.
What was that one about?
He played her ex-husband. Remember?
Was that the one with the guy from Superstore? Not Reed Scott.
I saw that one.
Not
Fran Reeves is an interior designer and divorced mother of 2 years. Her son Josh recently dropped out of medical school. Her young boyfriend Riley Martin.
Yeah,
Ben Feldman.
Yeah, Ben Feldman. Yes, that is the one from Superstore.
And Debbie Mazar is on that. Like, what a weird Mary Lou Henner.
Oh yeah, Misty Treya too. Yeah. Oh no, okay. Ben Feldman is her son.
Co-created by Jamie Kennedy. That's what
2 seasons. It had 2 seasons, that series, because she is a winner.
Yeah.
I think, and yeah, then she had Happily Divorced, who was with the other guy, that other actor.
We need to talk to her on A Fresh Story.
She marries people. She's a wedding officiant.
Yeah. Anyway, if you need a show of joy, it's on Max.
HBO Max. Now it's Max.
Yeah, Max.
You can watch
Maxwell Sheffield. Yeah,
like Maxwell Sheffield.
Yeah.
And
her clothing. We didn't even talk about her clothing. Like the genius of like.
I mean, here's the thing. This is what I feel too about Seinfeld and Elaine. Elaine is a woman who is sexual and who is angry and who is petty and unapologetically so. And Fran is sexual and happy and joyous and funny and
determined. And she's determined.
And like she's allowed to have a sexuality on that show. And I just love that. And also like I now know why I consistently want to wear like a turtleneck and a mini skirt with black.
I mean, she only wear tights and mini shorts for half the shows.
Yeah.
And a blazer. I mean, what a look.
What a look.
Like, she's amazing.
So cute. I was watching the episode where they're in the cruise and she like strips down to a bikini to go in the water with the kids and you can see Maxwell is like looking at her and I was like, like you didn't fucking know what she looked like? She's never in clothes. Like she's never.
What did her brother say? Her brother said like Maxwell inspired his fashion with like the jackets and the turtlenecks.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got a great look too.
Yeah, it's not.
And
amazing.
Also, I love a show where the characters rewear clothes, which in the early seasons the kids do a lot, which I just think is really.
It's just
I don't know.
It's a show about love, and there's so much beautiful just moments in it, and it's so funny. It's just so funny, and the humor and the chemistry is just unparalleled.
Listen, this is yet another podcast from 2 girls who grew up on Nick at Nite. And we're highly influenced by sitcoms. And if you just give us the smallest nudge, we will do a whole episode on Will and Grace.
Oh, that's coming. Yeah.
And Dick Van Dyke, Mary Tyler Moore, Bob Newhart. Don't get me started on Suzanne Plachette.
Yeah. We got a lot of strong women that we grew up with.
Plachette. They raised us.
Nick and Nite raised us. Oh, this would be good.
I mean, you're talking about a fresh start. Mary Tyler Moore, that's a fresh start. Many TV shows start with a fresh start because it's an inciting incident.
Inciting incident, yeah. And we have our production company, which will make sitcoms someday too. Hijinks ensue. Okay.
Big pass it.
Well, enjoy The Nanny. Please go take a moment. Go take 22 minutes out of your life. And I know you have to pay for HBO Max, but you know there's a lot of other good things in there. So
yeah.
It's a little thing for like mental health.
Head over to Hulu and watch an episode of Will and Grace. Google, YouTube an old episode of Mary Tyler Moore or Rhoda. Like any of those old James Burrows sitcoms, they're gonna serve you well.
What did James Burrow didn't do? He did Will and Grace. He didn't do
Will and Grace, yeah. But he did like everything.
I'm watching Mike and Molly that he did also.
Did he? Let's see. James Burrows did. Phyllis.
Oh.
Phyllis, Rhoda, Laverne.
He did Rhoda.
He didn't do it. He directed episodes.
Yeah.
Of Cheers.
Oh.
Wings, Frasier, Friends, News Radio, Third Rock from the Sun, Dharma and Greg, Caroline in the City. I mean, these are all great series. He directed.
Sitcom,
That's the one I'm thinking of, though. I'm not, that's not him that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the guy that's like, does all, like, he did like All in the Family.
Rob Reiner?
No. Like the guy that like started it.
Oh.
Norman Lear.
Oh, Norman Lear.
Casual. Norman Lear is what
he did Dick Van Dyke. Didn't he do Dick Van Dyke?
Norman Lear?
Yeah.
Let's look at what Norman Lear did. Please pause. TV productions. All in the Family, Sanford and Sons, Maude, Good Times, One Day at a Time.
One Day at a Time.
Oh, One Day at a Time. Don't get me started on that show.
Fresh Start.
Yeah. Seriously. I feel like he did more, but I can't find it.
Who did Dick Van Dyke?
Carl Reiner conceived it.
Oh, Carl Reiner. I knew there was a Reiner involved. Well, let us know what your favorite Nick at Nite show was, because we would love to talk about it. Nick at Nite was very important for us.
Yeah, All in the Family, by the way. Rob Reiner was on All in the Family.
Yeah, no, I knew that. Yeah.
Yes, Nick at Nite was very influential and important to us.
Yeah.
And we're happy to have you here talking about fresh starts on TV shows.
And if any of the cast of the Nanny wants to come on the show, you have an open invitation.
Open invitation.
Charles Shaughnessy, I'm looking at you. Okay. We will. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to A Fresh Story so you can get more unhinged episodes of like this.
You can keep talking about sitcoms that have been off the air for 30 years.
It's a Fresh Start sitcom season episode.
I think like a lot of sitcoms, like Friends, like Rachel has a fresh start, right? Will and Grace, obviously, that starts with a fresh start of Grace ending her engagement.
And coming out. Yeah.
Frasier, that's a fresh start. He's moves across the country. Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Yep.
That's a fresh start for Diane Chambers, who gets left in a bar.
What show isn't about a fresh start? This is why we do what we do.
Not sitcoms. That's probably the answer, is not sitcoms. Mary Tyler Moore. Bob Newhart is not about a fresh start.
No, that's true.
No. But it's a very good show.
Very good show.
The Brady Bunch is about a fresh start. A new family, blended family.
Blended family.
Anyway.
Thanks for coming on this ride with us.
Sorry about this.
We'll see you in a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens.
The flashy girl from Flushing, the nanny named Fran.
Thank you for listening to today's story. We're always here, and we're so proud of you.
A Fresh Story is produced by Fresh Starts Registry, the first and only platform for everything you need to begin again. You can read the show notes and learn more about today's episode at afreshstory.com.